tuk everyone, it's me again, Penny. My head's not cut off. There you go. How's everyone doing? So I watched a movie that I swear I watched when I was a kid. And every time I walk down the beach and I see sea foam, I'm instantly like, oh, is this the stuff? And I don't know if it's one of those memories where like you think you have a memory of something, but it's not really. It's just kind of like embedded into you. I just got Shudder and I was going through it and I was like, wow, I'm gonna be spending plenty of time on this app. And one of the movies I saw as I went through it was The Stuff, and I was like, oh my god, this is like, you know, a flashback like from my childhood. So I was like, okay, I'll watch it. So I put it on, and even though I have always had that vision of somebody walking on the beach and seeing like something that looks like sea foam and then eating it and being like, yum. No, that's not even close to what actually happens. So what happens is it's like this, it looks like a pipeline or like some kind of weird factory out, and it looks like, it doesn't specify where it's at, but it's like it's a really cold place, kind of looks like Antarctica or something. And there's this old guy, he's coming out there and he's walking around and he's in the snow and he sees something bubbling up from the snow, and he goes over to it and he looks in and he sees this white shit. And of course, when you see like unknown shit bubbling from the ground, what's the first thing you do? I mean, you instantly taste it, right? Well, that's what this guy fucking does. He like, oh, he like grabs it and he's like, is that really your first response? Anyway, he just like starts going to town on this shit. And he's just like, wow, this stuff tastes good. This stuff tastes good. This other guy comes and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Eating snow? And he's like, hell no, eat this shit, try it. So he gives the other guy, and they're like, what? And then he's like, well, if it's boiling from the ground, maybe we can start selling it to people. There's this kid, and he's in his room, and he's like, he can't sleep because he keeps getting eaten by mosquitoes because his fucking bedroom window is wide open. So he goes over, he's like, oh, I keep getting eaten up. He goes over and he closes the window. And he's awake, so he's like, might as well go downstairs for a snack. And so he goes down, and he goes and looks into the fridge. And what he sees is, like, there's, like, this turned over container of this stuff. And it's, like, crawling along, like, creeping out of the container. And, like, this kid, he's got some crazy eyeballs. They're just, like, these super bright, like neon, I don't even know what color it is. It's like this neon blue green, like, and his eyes are huge too. So he's looking at this thing with these crazy eyes, and this thing's like, all of a sudden, fucking dad of the year comes by and grabs him by the arm and fucking manhandles him. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing down here? And he's just like, what? Yeah, and then he, like, tells the kid to fucking go to bed, so he goes and gives him the hardest fucking slap on the ass I've ever seen in my life. That shit looked like it hurt. And this is coming from a kid that got spanked a lot as a kid. Surprising, I know. The Crypt Keeper's mom's in the commercial. She's, like, selling the stuff.
When I was a little girl, I didn't think there was anything that I liked better than ice cream. Now I'm a big girl, and I've decided there's something I like better.
You sure? Mommy always said life is like a box of chocolates.
And then the next shot is like, it's like these suits in a yacht, and they're talking about their competition, which is the stuff. They're talking about how they bought out this Charlie chocolate chip cookie guy, and they want to figure out what this stuff is made of. They hire this dude. His name is Moe Rutherford. And Moe's job is to find out what the stuff is made of. So they get this Moe guy, they bring him onto this yacht, and they're Moe's just like this kind of sleazy looking business guy, and he calls himself Moe because every time someone gives you something, I want Moe. Anyway, he goes in and then he starts like shaking everyone's hands, and he keeps commenting on everyone's sweaty palms. I think he's got like, I think he's got a stiffy for sweaty palms.
Gosh, let me, that's a sweaty palm. That's two sweaty palms. Let me feel. Ah, that's another sweaty palm. Yes, sir. Hello, sweaty palm.
Ooh, I think I'm getting a clue.
Really?
Yeah, this is totally giving me a clue right now.
So Moe's talking to this boss, the boss that hired him, and I guess the boss is like kind of asking what makes him so great. How is he going to help him with this job? And then he's like, hey, remember yesterday when we went to the blah, 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 I slipped something in your pocket. And then the boss guy, he like, what's his hand? He pulls out this thingy and he's like, yep. And then everyone else was like, did he bug me too? So, well, good thing he picked a guy that wears the same shit every day. Anyway, he's leaving the place, and then this random dude calls him an a-hole, so he just fucking clocks him. And then after he hits him, like, the dudes around him are instantly, oh, he broke his jaw. I go, how do you know this? How do you know this information? And, like, the second after he fucking punches him, you just assume he broke his jaw. Okay, whatever. So the next scene, the kid, or who I thought it was the kid. There's like this older looking kid, and he's got the same huge, bright, glowing eyeballs. But like the other kid comes down the stairs, and it's the kid from earlier that saw the shit move. This kid and that kid look, they have to be brothers in real life. I didn't look it up, but they look eerily alike. They both have those giant glowing eyes. So anyway, they're sitting around, and the dad is talking about, the kid's like, I'm super tired, and the dad's like, well, I bet you are. You're up late last night wandering around. Anyway, they're trying to get him to eat the stuff, and this kid's like, no, I won't eat it. It's spoiled. It's like, it moved. The mom's like, here, have some. She spoons some of the stuff, and she tries to feed it to the kid, and he's like, and then the older kid comes in just like, like takes the fucking stuff from the lady's spoon. And then the kid's like, I ain't having it. It's spoiled. It's not good. And then he hits it. He like smacks it off, and it slaps into the fucking cabinets. And he leaves. He like fucks off somewhere. And the mom, she's just like appalled. She's like, I can't believe he just did that. She's like, it's gonna stain. And then she goes and starts wiping the shit off. And she's like, the stuff is like tasty and it's low calorie and it doesn't leave a mark and he doesn't like it. I'm like, why would it leave a mark? It's just like fucking yogurt. Why would slapping yogurt onto your cabinet stain? Like, what kind of logic is that? So there's a commercial, like a commercial shoot going on. And the shoot has like these supermodels in like fur coats, and they're walking around holding their canisters of the stuff with spoons and like spoon feeding each other with it. There's a lady, and she is like the director or something. Moe walks in, and he goes over to the director, and he's like, all right, everybody, get the fuck out. we're going on a break. And he just has all this fucking power. And she's just like, what the fuck's going on? And so he's like, hey, I'm Moe because people give me shit. I want Moe. I'm like, oh my God, splash. And he's telling her, like, he knows all about her on account of, like, some shit he read, some things that she did in her past. That tells, like, you know, she's really persuasive. She was the one that gave the stuff the name, the stuff, and she was the part of the whole marketing campaign. And he needed her help. He's like, okay, can I invite you to dinner? Well, first of all, he's all like, you're real pretty. And then she goes and talks to her assistant. And she's like, cancel all my appointments and get me my dress. And the lady's like, okay. And it's like, well, she didn't specify what kind of dress. I mean, like a regular dress, or is it like her like getting lucky dress? I don't know. The lady's talking to Moe again, and she's like, well, does your hotel have room service? And he's like, yeah, it does. And I got my limo. And she's like, I got my limo. And he's like, I bet my limo's bigger than your limo. Whatever. They want to fuck. Cuts to the kid from earlier. And he's at the grocery store with his family. And they're going down the aisle. And he sees this little kid just like going to town on the stuff. Like, nah. And he goes over to the little kid. And he's like, crap. And the little kid's mom was like, the fuck? Get away! And the little shit just starts running. He like runs and he slams into like this big old pile of shit. And then he keeps running, and like every time he sees like this, you know, display of the stuff, he goes and just like, bam! He like fucks it up. He goes to, you know, where the refrigeration shit is, and he just goes and just fucks everything up. Like, he just went on a rampage. Yeah, and he's running around telling everybody, don't eat this, it will kill you all. Moe goes over to look for this guy that was part of the Food and Drug Administration. And so he goes to his house, and it's Danny Aiello. When I first saw his name in the credits, I was like, Danny Aiello. That name sounds so familiar. I knew it wasn't like a skit from Family Guy.
Oh, that is so interesting, Danny Aiello. You've got the best Spike Lee stories. What's that? You want to meet my wife?
Peter, stop it.
Oh, let's just say hello. You're embarrassing me in front of Danny Aiello.
I was like, but when I saw him, I was like, okay, that's fucking Danny Aiello. So he was, this guy's in the Food and Drug Administration, and Moe comes in, and Danny Aiello has this big dog. It's like a Rottweiler or something. And his name is Ben. Ben's a good boy. Him's a good boy. He starts talking to Danny about the stuff, and notices like Danny's like scared of the dog. He's like, well, you know, I love this stuff too. And Danny loves it. I give Danny some. He's like, you give your dog this stuff? He's like, yeah. And then he's just like acting kind of scared of the dog. And he's like, why are you scared of your dog? He's like, no reason. Anyway, so Moe's like, okay, I'm leaving. Bye, guys. Bye, Ben. Peace. And he leaves. The dog starts acting crazy and starts growling at him. And Danny's just like, it's okay. I have a treat for you. I got a treat for me and you. And then the dog starts growling at him. And Danny gets scared, and he tries to get the phone, and the dog runs over, and he pulls the wire out of the jack so he wouldn't make any calls. Good boy, smart dog. And he runs over to Danny, and Danny's just like, you know, he's like, like super scared the dog is gonna rip him up, and the dog just like adorably just starts licking him. But you know, it's supposed to be he's murdering him, so but you can tell the doggy is just like licking him, being all sweet, and they're trying to make him scary. They even made this really scary like fake dog mouth that's like with the stuff coming out of it. Moe goes over to what it looks like is like the stuff, but it's where they're selling the stuff. So it's like a shop, like a small shop where you can go up and get the stuff. And that's where he meets the girl. Moe goes over to this little like ho-dunk town looking for clues and shit.
Yeah, no, I've got a total clue. I've still got a raging clue. My clue's pointing over there now. Oh, let's follow that clue.
So he goes to this gas station, stops, and he talks to the gas station attendant. And he's like, hey, what's going on here? And the guy's just like, what do you mean? Moe notices a car, and he's like, hey, who does this car belong to? And the guy's just like, I don't know. So Moe goes over to the car, looks around, and the gas station guy fucks off. And then gets ambushed by this guy. And Moe was able to punch the dude on the floor. And the dude's like, what the fuck?
You're Chocolate Chip Charlie.
Well, I sure as hell ain't the Kentucky Colonel. Get off!
They go into like this little store and they start talking to the owner of the store. They're wondering why so many people that used to live in that town, because there was like nobody in that town anymore, everybody's just gone. So many people from that town migrated to this place called Midland, Georgia. And they're like, why? That's weird.
Midland, Georgia, huh? They all went there, and you stayed here.
Go away.
The store guy like burps. Then he fucks up. So they're like, what the fuck happened to this guy? Like 1 second he was here talking to us and the next second he's not there. So Charlie like kung fu's the fucking one of the little window panes from the door. He's like, pow! And then he opens it and they get down and they walk down there. And the guy, the storekeeper dude, is like on his back, and his mouth is just like super like super open. And Charlie's like, I've never seen a mouth open that wide. And then this like white stuff starts coming out of it like
I always not put.
They leave it. They scram. And as they're walking, Chocolate Chip Charlie is like, I feel like someone's following us. And then he's like,
The only thing Chocolate Chip Charlie knows better than fighting is running.
Pick a direction.
they look over, there's these fucking goons like running after them. The goon like runs after them, like they go to this water, it's like a dock. And then Chocolate Chip guy punches this one dude, and he's like, ah shit, I put a hole in his face. He put a hole in this guy's face. And the other dude punches another guy, and he puts a hole in his fucking hollow face too. And then they get into this boat that just happened to be there. And this other goon was like, I don't know, pushing them out. Thanks. I don't know. So they go to this diner. Moe and Chocolate Chip Charlie go to this diner. And Moe's being all creepy as usual, you know, like, oh, you're so pretty and stuff. And like, do you have the stuff? And she's like, no, it's on order. I wish we did, but we don't have it right now. It's on order. And they're like, okay, whatever. And Moe, he starts talkative Charlie, sorry, what to do next. He's like, you gotta do this, and you gotta do this and this next. And then there were just these randos sitting there, and he's like, hey, y'all going to the city or wherever? Can I catch a ride with you? And they're like, yeah. So he gets a ride with these randoms. And the waitress girl goes into the back. And this bitch be lying. She opened this fucking fridge, and they got stacks upon stacks of this stuff. Anyway, Moe gets to the city. And there's this, like, the stuff stand. And there's a girl in there, and she's just like, hey, I see so-and-so come to... And he almost gets run over by a truck. He goes over to this guy. This guy, like, tries to bribe him. But he pretty much just, like, takes the money and runs. And he goes and talks to that girl. That girl that was the commercial director is the one that gave it the name and all that. And like sorry, like, I don't mean to, like, I don't want to body shame anyone, but this girl looks a little emaciated. She could probably use some of the stuff. I mean, just a little bit.
Some kid on Long Island sure as hell doesn't like the stuff for breakfast. Went bonkers in a local supermarket.
So anyway, it cuts to, like, another one of those sweet 80s commercials. Tastes great for today, tastes great anyway, can't get enough of the stuff. The stuff. One taste and you're fucking hooked. The house of the little boy that he got all, you know, crazy in the grocery store, and he says that he is grounded for life. And he's like throwing this ball around, and like the dad's like, stop, and he's like, I'm up here. Anyway, he is grounded for life for that little scene he made at the fucking grocery store, which is not bad. I mean, if I did that as a kid, I probably would not be alive right now. So he goes downstairs and he looks around. He notices a couple of trash bags. One trash had, like, a bunch of good food in there, like food that they would normally eat. There's like tortilla shells and all that nice stuff in this garbage. The other garbage bag is filled with empty the stuff containers. He goes in and he sees his family. They're at the they're in the living room. The dad's eating it. The son, his big brother, is playing video games. Anyway, the family's like sitting there eating the stuff. Oh yeah, the kid's like, hey, I guess there's no dinner tonight. And the mom's like, no, actually, I've been eating this and I've lost 5 pounds. And the dad's like, this is so great. We're all eating better now. The bacteria and stuff in this is gonna make our insides so much better. And the kid's like, sure. And then they try to force him to eat the stuff, but they give him this little cup of it, and he's like, okay, you can come back from your room when you're all done with your stuff. So he goes up with his little cup of this stuff to the bathroom. He pours it into the toilet. And when he does that, the stuff tries to climb out of the toilet. And he's like, ah! He puts his lid down. And he replaces the stuff that was in that little cup with shaving cream. And he goes down and he's just like pretending to, oh no, this kid's fucking eating it. He's fucking eating shaving cream. And his family's sitting at the table and they're like serving fucking the stuff. The dad grabs the cup from him And the kid flees. Like, he runs out of the house. The dad, like, he's like, oh, and the kid fucks off. And while he's running outside, a car comes. And it's that Moe guy. And the Moe guy picks him up. And, the kid's like, who are you? And the guy's like, I've seen the stuff move too, so, and you have as well. And so the kid's like, okay, I trust you. And jumps inside of that stranger's car. They're going, and the kid's like, I'm sorry, I puked in your car, I'm so sorry, I ate shaving cream. And the guy's like,
Well, everybody has to eat shaving cream once in a while.
so they go to this airplane. The kid's pretty excited because he's never been into a private plane before. Meets the girlfriend. They get onto the plane. And these assholes, like Moe and his girlfriend, just plan on leaving the poor fucking kid in the plane for some fucking reason. They tell the driver, like, hey, drop him off, make sure he gets to this place, and whatever. And, they get off the plane, go into a limo, where they're meeting these people. And the kid is in the plane, and he's like, sleeping. He's like sleeping, kind of mansplaining. His like legs are all splayed out. And then he wakes up and he sees that stuff crawling into the window and like after him. So he gets up and he finds a way out. It's like the luggage compartment maybe. And so he finds it and he escapes. And he runs into the woods. And these other guys are in this limo with this guy. They don't give a fuck about this poor kid. They go and like rescue him from somewhere. And then just leaves him. Like, some rescuers they are. They get dropped off at the factory. They go to the factory where they like distribute the stuff, or I don't know. I don't want to say make this stuff because, you know, it comes from the fucking ground or whatever. So they go to this factory where it's being made. And the kid runs into the truck that has like the stuff in it, like the big containers. Moe and the girlfriend are chilling in the motel. Yeah, there's kind of a cute little commercial that kind of like dates this movie. You know, where's the beef lady? Where's the beef? This cute little old lady. Anyway, the commercials, they're at a fancy restaurant. And the husband, who kind of looks like a Vigoda.
How's the food, sweetheart? That's nice.
Where's the stuff?
The stuff is here now. And this stuff just like comes out of nowhere. It's like comes out into the room and attacks Moe. And this guy comes in with a plaid shirt, and tries to kill them. And then the fucking stuff comes out of nowhere, like, and starts like going all over the place. And then they use the fire to kill them. They escape. Well, I wanted to bring attention to these practical effects. They are pretty sweet, even to today's standards, and I really wish that more movies would rely on this instead of crappy ass CGI. Just saying. They escape and they run over to the factory. Okay, so the kid, he's still in these containers. It's like Shorten this up. The kid's still in that big tank. That thing's trying to get him. The guy, Moe, he's just walking around. He like hears the kid. He'll hear him in the tank and he's like, what the fuck? And the kid's trying to get out. He's trying to run away from the thingamajigger. And the guy kind of like beats up this one dude, steals the truck, punches another dude, gets away. So he like he has these bombs all over the place that he puts up, and he starts detonating them. Bam, 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 boom, boom, boom. And so he's going and going and going. These guys are like, no, stop! But he almost hits them. And the kid's like trying to use mind power, trying to control that stuff, but the stuff ain't having it. This girl tries to get right from this one guy, but it turns out to be a rapist, so she scratches his eyes out. And she's like, hey, stop! The guy runs over him, and he like smashes him like a tube of toothpaste. And he, oh, the kid's all still fucked in that tank, so he gets him, opens the tank, and rescues the kid. Yay. They go into the factory, and they run in, and all these guys in the yellow, which are like the bad guys, are all laying on the ground dead. And this guy like hits one in their face, like, you know, there's like a hollow face. And they're like, oh my god. And then they're like, oh, they must have all committed suicide or something like that. The lady and the little boy do some bonding by playing hot lava with the stuff. So they jump in and out of these bins until they get to the door and fuck right off. Then the stuff just kind of blows up all over the fucking place. Just like splooges over everything. I don't know, they go and they find this, they go to this military base after that. And there's this guy there, and he's like this colonel. They go into like this building, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go on to the radio. Oh, it was a radio station. Go on to the radio and tell everybody to, you know, stop. If they're already addicted to the stuff, go to the hospital, get help. And if they have any of the stuff, they have to destroy it. A Charlie chocolate chip dude ended up being alive. And he's like, hey, but he had that thing. And he is just a zombie. The stuff, a zombie. The stuff starts trying to overrun him. And the bitch is like, ah! The fucking, what the hell's his name? Moe kills the stuff and gets the boy and the girl out of the. And then the next thing you know, like people have like, they're like burning it. There's like piles and piles of the stuff, and people are just like throwing the stuff into the fire and just getting rid of it. To have the whole nation listen to something like the authorities say, for the whole world to get together and do this one thing for the good of the nation. Only in movies, right?
We're all gonna die! Ah! Oh, run!
Moe and the kid, they go to these suits, these guys that like were the ones that distributed it and put it out there, and they're like, hey, you gotta eat this. And those guys are like, no. And they're like, yes, you gotta eat this big mountain of the stuff. So they made these guys eat all the stuff. And then the military, or I don't know, the cops or whatever the fuck comes, and then hopefully something good happens. The next scene we see are these sleazy ass guys. They look like drug dealers coming through and distributing the stuff.
Finger licking.
So I don't know if they were like trying to get a sequel, or if they just mean, you know, no matter what you do, some kind of product that everybody loves but is bad for them, that you try to outlaw is always gonna make its way back. The Stuff, it was made in 1985. This is what they say about it. 86 minutes, very short for a movie. Americans started acting strangely after eating an alien ice cream called The Stuff. And cult director Larry Cohen's It's Alive. He's the director that made the movie It's Alive, which is a really great movie about this baby that eats everything. It's such a good movie. One of my favorites. So maybe one of these days I'll review that. Must-see consumer satire. After tasty goo begins oozing from the ground, a PI is hired to find out what's in it. His search leads him to a boy whose family turns into virtual zombies after eating the stuff, and together the pair set out to stop the deadly dessert dish before it's too late. If Roger Corman remade They Live, it might look something like this silly and, yes, scary treat. Serve yourself some froyo and push play. Well, I love me some froyo and I love me some Roger Corman. So, yeah, that was The Stuff. It was not boring, and it was a very good satire on consumerism. I'll give this a 6 out of 10. Well, everyone, I hope y'all had a good weekend and a good night, and